The other day, I did a video talking about how my job doesn't really respect my time and how I was just locked out of my job and then I went home. Basically, was that. Now, the other day, one of my bosses came up to me and showed me his new truck or just his car in general. And I was like, "Oh, cool. It's a big truck. Awesome, man. Good for you." And he told me that he was actually there that morning and that he saw me. He had gotten there at 8:30. I got there at 9. And he had saw me and then had saw that I had gone after about 20 minutes. And he tells me this, and then he tells me a story about how he never misses a day of work and how the only times he's ever missed work was when they like forced him to go to the hospital because he had some abdominal thing and two double pink eye. And he's telling me this, and I'm just looking at him and I'm like, why the fuck are you lying to my face right now? Cause let's just be real, guys. He was not there that morning. All right. Because the call that I had gotten from my other boss had he told me that the manager had just gotten there at 9:28. So now I have these two stories that are conflicting, and one of them sounds way more bullshit than the other one. Obviously, I didn't call him out on it because he's still my boss, and I kind of feel like keeping my job. But I was like, why the fuck are you bullshitting me right now? What do you gain out of this? Whenever I lie or I tell a mistruth, I there's always something to benefit from it. I'm not just telling tall tales just for the sake of it. So when I see a guy just lie to my fucking face just to seem cool, like you want a fucking brownie for not missing a day of work your whole life, man? Like you're a fucking tool, dude. You're a fucking loser. This brings me this brings me to that one weird kid at my other job. The other day he comes in, has a pack of cigarettes that he hides in his locker. He's a fucking loser like that. But he comes in 9 o'clock at night. He goes to talk to one of my other coworkers, and I overhear. He goes, yeah, I was actually adopted in the hood of Chicago. This guy's white as shit, all right. This guy is not from O Block. Let's just call it like we see it. But he tells us a tale about how his like, I don't know, either his adoptive father or his biological father has this sledgehammer. He goes, when I was 4 years old, my father hit me over the head with a sledgehammer. I almost busted out fucking laughing. It's such a bullshit story, right? He goes, imagine a 6'4", 250-pound pure muscle slamming a sledgehammer into your skull. Go ahead. I mean, go ahead. Fucking imagine that. And I tell my boss, I'm like, hey, what a fucking story that is. Because it's obviously fucking fake, right? Like, no way. Because no way you live that. The first thoughts in my head is like, if I hit a 4-year-old with a sledgehammer, they're probably not getting back up. You know what I mean? Like, either your dad is weak as shit, or you're just lying to my face. And this guy, he lies a lot. He lies about his transportation. He lies about his living situation. He told us that he got kicked out of his house for smoking weed in his garage and then moved in with his friends. Like, he moved in with his friend, and his friend's parents are both porn stars. And then the parents and the kid had a conversation about the kid watching the porn star's parents' porn. And I'm looking at this guy as he tells me this. I'm like, you're not telling the fucking truth. And I don't understand why he lies like that. I don't understand why people just lie like that. Cuz if you're lying about like achievements or like I don't this just this guy's entire life, what the fuck do you gain? Like again, whenever I lie about something, it's either to escape a negative outcome or to put myself in an advantageous position, right? Either I'm trying to avoid getting in trouble for something, like, oh, EJ, did you thaw this meat correctly? And I'm like, didn't even touch that shit, you know? Take the blame off me, you know? I don't want to take blame for that. Or like trying to lie about something so I can get more money, you know what I mean? Something like that. Something where there's a benefit or there's like an outcome that like affects the real world. When people lie about achievements, like when he fucking this grown ass man, this grown fucking man who's balding and has a beard, right? Looks me dead in my eyes and goes, you know, I've never called out, you know. They seriously, the only time I've ever called out for work is when they physically pulled me out of my job and they forced me to the hospital. I did. I was about to fucking burst out laughing at that shit. Like, what the hell are you telling me this for? Like, literally, do you want me to just like, hey, my fucking man, yo, we really trucked through that shit. Like, no, you're a fucking bum, dude. You're like 40 and you're bragging to me about this shit. I don't care. It makes it like I don't know if it makes them feel better about themselves. Like, I mean, I don't even doubt this Brian guy. His name is Brian. I don't doubt that he hasn't called out of work. But I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me like, like I'm gonna give a shit, you know? Or like this other kid, he'll he'll lie about how he is either using substances or just is in possession of these substances. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? You're so lame. Cause like again, I used to feel bad for the kid. I used to feel really bad because he's like such a loser. But again, I've had to explain this to people IRL. There's two different types of losers, right? There's the ones that are just weird and antisocial, have weird interests, right? And then there's the fucking like actual losers who lose in life, are addicted to drugs, get kicked out of their house at 17, does not have a car, like is addicted to substances, apparently has been hit in the head with a fucking sledgehammer at 4 years old. You know what I mean? Like these guys are just he's so lame. So I'm assuming that when he lies about his life and how cool it is that he goes to strip clubs and whatnot, I assume that it makes him feel better about his shitty situation. And if it does, all the power to him. But oh my god, I don't want to hear it. I just don't care. This guy doesn't care. I don't care. You know? What I'm trying to say is, if you're gonna lie about something, make it worth lying about, you know? Don't just lie to make a story. And because and let me tell you, I know what it's like to lie to make a story. All right. One of my favorite things to do is to just tell stories, is to just make shit up on the spot, just fib a little bit, do it just for a joke, just for a harmless little reaction, just to make someone laugh or question their reality. Just to fuck with people because it's funny. It's funny to just lie to people because the like it's just so silly. It's so worthless. It's so silly, and it's so harmless. It's these are harmless little lies that provide a comedic effect. But when you lie about how like he told some people he lived in a hotel. He told some of us that he lived with his porn star people. He told some of us that he didn't even get kicked out. Like what the fuck? You're just so lame, you know? There's no comedy. It's just you lying, and then you can't even stick to your. You don't even know which lie to stick to. So yeah, that's the moral of this one. If you're gonna lie about something, make it worth lying for. You know, don't just be a fucking weirdo and lie about the most random bullshit. Keep it simple and make it make sense. Thank you.